The Princess and the Pea, the classic story retold by Shari, Eskenas. Hans Christian Andersen wrote the original story, The Princess and the Pea. It was published in Copenhagen, Denmark in 1835. Once upon a time, a lonely prince sailed around the world to find a princess to marry. Even though he traveled far and wide, the prince had trouble finding a princess. The prince returned home by himself. On a dark and stormy night, he glumly gazed out the window, believing he would never find a princess to marry. Little did he know, a girl wearing a princess dress was making her way towards the castle. The girl knocked on the door with her clothes soaked in rainwater. The startled king and queen answered the door and asked who she was and why she didn't have an umbrella. The girl explained she was a princess and had lost her way in the storm and forgot her umbrella. They invited her into the castle to take shelter. The girl warmed up in front of the fireplace while chatting with the prince and sipping hot chocolate. Aside from getting lost on a dark and stormy night and forgetting her umbrella, it was the perfect evening. The queen doubted the girl was a real princess and wasn't sure how she could prove it. The queen suddenly thought of a perfect plan. "Aha!" the queen exclaimed. The queen immediately ran into the kitchen and grabbed a bag of frozen peas from the freezer. The queen placed one pea onto the bed in the guest room. When the king walked in looking very confused, the queen explained, "Let's stack 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds onto this bed. If she's a real princess, she won't sleep well tonight because she'll feel the lump of this pea under the bed. Only a real princess has the special power to notice even the smallest things that others miss." The king and queen had a large collection of spare mattresses and feather beds. They soon needed to use ladders to continue stacking the mattresses up. Meanwhile, the girl knew her bed was being made, but had no idea it was getting close to reaching the ceiling. The bed was finally complete. The girl was shocked to see how high it was, but without even asking why it was so big or why the queen was holding a bag of peas, she began climbing up the ladder. "Sweet dreams!" shouted the queen. The girl waved to her in return, as she felt the queen wouldn't even be able to hear her from such a height. When the girl woke up in the morning, she felt like she hadn't slept at all. The queen asked the girl how well she slept. She replied, "I couldn't sleep well at all because I felt a strange lump under the bed." "Then you must be a real princess!" the queen jubilantly shouted. The girl responded, "I told you I was." The king and queen immediately threw a celebration. The queen explained her sneaky pea test to the princess, who exclaimed, "Oh, I was wondering what that lump was." The prince and princess fell in love, and the pea was put into a glass case for display in the palace. The prince and princess got married and lived happily ever after. 2 peas in a pod. The end.